Oh, I like that.
Good contact, good result.
Plus, with Rory, the chat in the locker room, when you hear someone say, I couldn't hit that shot he just hit today, that's when you know you're different.
How about the 2 eagles he made in the final 3 holes Saturday, round 3, on his way to winning the Open Championship in 2014?
That was phenomenal. 16 was virtually unreachable for most of the field. 2 phenomenal shots. And obviously he's in a tussle with Ricky Fowler. And then to top it off, that 5-iron he hit into 18 was just, it never left the flagstick. He has that ability just to hit the gas pedal at the right time. Can't birdie them all, Rich.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
2-1 over par early on in this round. Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Frank, what's the best way to access the hole location on this second shot here at the second hole at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's really set up with a drive. If you can drive it down the right side, you get a better view. Plus, you can avoid that ridge that's in the middle of the green on the left side. If you're coming in from the left side, that bunker on the right, now you realize why they put that there. Because when you've got a skirt to the right of that ridge, that second shot becomes a little more difficult.
You know his head is in a good place. You make the disappointing bogey at the first, put it behind you, come right back and make birdie at the second. Well done. Good spot to be in, fresh off a birdie.
Yeah, all of a sudden you start to feel like you've got the game in hand.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Well, that one didn't work out. It didn't look bad in the air. It hit the green, but didn't sit.
Yeah, it was never going to stop.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole. Don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, here on the fourth tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. It's a 180-yard shot, his second.
In the direction of the sand.
And looks like it. Wow, this has turned into a day at the beach, but not much fun. Great professionals, Frank, they don't fear the greenside bunker shot, do they?
No, because you can be as aggressive or as conservative as you want. You actually have far more options. And you don't have to hit the ball first.
Frank, that reminds you of maybe what, the greatest bunker player of all time? Not a gimme, but well within his range. All right, no damage done. Stays at 1 over par with that putt. Frank, it's kind of fun to swing away on an elevated tee like this, the 5th here at Chambers Bay.
It looks straight away. It certainly does. And under 500 yards, so it gives you a chance, plus that elevation. You should be able to knock one down there. The whole pinch is in, though, with those bunkers left and right. And there's just one bunker in the front of this green. And that, as you can get, should be avoided.
Be careful. They call this hole free fall. And now it's right in his wheelhouse. Good position where he can attack the pin.
Yeah, he has all those options now. With that ball sitting up, you can bring it in high, you can bring it in low. The choice is yours.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, it just seemed to baby it.
So, third shot now for Rory McIlroy. Needs this for par. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Frank, now at the 6th, this appears to be a testing par 4 long one.
It is, but once again, a generous fairway. Just use those mounds down the left as an indicator on your line. Hole bends a little bit to the right. Good tee shot, though, and everything is in front of you. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Not terrible, but not his best.
The outside chance, really. It was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Settles in over the putt. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Frank, this is a daunting challenge. The 7th hole, long par 4. It's over 500 yards.
A huge bunker down the right side that probably runs for a good 200-300 yards. Obviously, that's to be avoided. And then, of course, there's the mounds and the hammocks and the dunes and that on the left side. That's the reason, really, why this hole's called Humpback. But then, a little bit like the golf course, there's only one greenside bunker to be worried about, but enough green left of that.
Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker. Frank, the good players certainly aren't panicked when they're in a fairway bunker, are they?
Just make sure your feet stay nice and firm in the sand there. There's a tendency to move your feet around a little bit.
Did the smart thing there, Frank. Took his medicine, back out onto the fairway. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Get down! Lay down! Frank, he has to be scratching his head as he reaches for a sand wedge or a gap wedge for his next shot.
Well, you know, the FedEx Cup, Rich. I mean, you're meant to get there by 10:30 tomorrow. That thing's still going.
He'll take that one all day long. Very solid, about 15 feet away.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Well, you hate to miss from that distance. No one likes these. Putt for double bogey. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
That hole certainly got the best of him. Triple bogey. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realize that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Day out here today. What kind of advice do you give a player who's struggling?
Well, you just almost got to forget what's happened. I know that's easier said than done. Just start a clean slate. Just hit a good shot. Just find a fairway. Don't try and get too specific. There's enough out there. The greens are big enough. Just find a piece of green. Find a piece of fairway. Maybe knock a couple of putts in. And then let it add up in your direction.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So from the rough back to the fairway, that's the right way to go.
Yeah, didn't take the bait, and at least now he's only going to play the price of a poor tee shot. Still got a good chance, though, getting away with par.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision, but, well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here.
That's a well-played shot, putting the ball right on the green. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
All right, this is what gets me a fucking time with the putt. That's fucking horrible.
Just didn't read that one quite right. And this will be a 5-foot putt here.
Shut up with your 5-foot putt.
7 over for the day. Finishing up our front side here at the 9th, it's a par 3. And Frank, how would you describe this hole?
Well, it's an absolute stunner, really, because of the views. And this is where you realize that links golf, minus trees and minus some of the things we see on other golf courses, can still look absolutely beautiful. But don't look at the scenery too much, because you've got well over 200 yards here. Even though it's elevated, it still requires a good tee shot. But a little 2 here, and you might just have yourself a good outward 9.
Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another. Great shot out of the rough. He avoided all the troubles just to get that on the green.
That was not an easy shot. He'll settle. These putts keep the round together. Has his par. Played very poorly on the front, but still a chance to get it back here on the back 9.
Yeah, this is where you just simply have to eradicate what's being. You know, golf is that game of keep doing what's in front of you. Keep moving, one step at a time.
That ball's run out certainly over 300 yards, Frank. I call it about 310.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Well, he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Then a rocky round. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
Yeah, it looks straightforward. You see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far as you can. You're going to need to. And then from there on in, it's really just trying to find out exactly where you want to land that second shot so that you can get it on the right level.
Wow, he moved that a long ways right in the fairway. The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
Now the game's #1 player, Rory McIlroy, ready with his approach. Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Got it for par. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th, Frank, seems to offer an opportunity for a player to do something pretty dramatic here.
Yeah, it's called the Narrows. Really, it should be called the Temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up a gauntlet?
Drivable par 4, not for most in this field, but for this guy, yes, he has just knocked it on. What a shot. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. He needs this for par. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. On to the 13th hole here at Chambers Bay. It's a par 4, and they call this one Eagle Eye.
Yeah, dogleg to the right, beefy par 4. You hit it down to one of the widest fairways on the golf course. And then up in front, if you look at the middle of the green, you're going to see one bunker. Needless to say, that's got to be avoided. Oh, if this is up, it's good. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. Not missing by much today, but enough to again be in the bunker. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club, and an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
Not an easy one, 20 feet away. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Settles in over the putt. Ah, that hurts. Wow. Just a little tap in here. Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly. Frank, this is the 5th par 4 in a row, and they're not easy. This one here at 14, really a daunting tee shot.
It is. That's why it's called Cape Fair. A true Cape hole in golf, Rich, is when you've got to decide how much you want to bite off when you hit across a slight dogleg. And this one, really, you're going to be rewarded the further left you can go. There is one little bunker in the middle of the fairway that you have to avoid. That's going to be 320 or so yards off the tee. This hole, 546 yards, you're going to see a variety of second shots, or the length of second shots here, determined purely by the bravery of the tee shot.
Oh, no, look out, Frank. I think he flushed that one.
Oh, this is going, gone.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Wow, I thought he made that. Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. Hoping to drop only one shot, this for bogey. In for a bogey. At last, Frank, a break from those long par 4s. We just played 5 par 4s in a row. Now the par 3 15th.
And also, as you can see in the distance, you can actually see a tree. One of the few that are on the golf course. Hence the name of 15. It's called Lone Fir. Not overly long, just a little short hole. But in the US Open, obviously they can play it at around 250 yards. It's just a fun par 3. But check where that flag is, because sometimes 3 is a good score here. But an easy flag position, and then go straight at it.
Good putt. Now to the 3-hole finishing stretch here at Chambers Bay, and we get it started with a relatively short par 4. It's a 423-yard hole, the 16th, Frank.
Bend slightly to the right. There's a huge bunker all the way down the right side that sort of starts, I don't know, maybe about 100 yards off the tee, goes all the way to the green. You go right, and then you realize why this hole is called Beach.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Miss hit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot.
Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation.
Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par. Frank, you don't need just a caddy out here at Chambers Bay. Seems like you need a sports psychologist. You start thinking about the names of these holes. Beached at 16, and what's 17 called?
Derailed, and you can see why too. That green's perched up there. If you've got the round going in the wrong direction, this is not a hole to start on. So if you've got a run going, it's just a good tee shot that lands around the front there, and you just take a 3 here. This is not a time to be a hero.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. That's just a poor putt right there. No other way to say it. And a drop shot, a bogey at 17. Clean this up with a tap. So a drop shot. Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walk-in golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department in your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. Missed the fairway in the fairway bunker now.
It's not all gloom and doom, though. Lip isn't too high. A good swing here still shouldn't be a problem.
And once again, he's in the sand. 100 yards to the flagstick. Bit surprising, misses the green in regulation here for par 5.
Yeah, you'd think this is one of the easier holes on the golf course. So now just trying to avoid 6.
Didn't go in, Frank, but not a bad effort. Not what he had in mind when he stepped to the tee, but it would be just one drop shot. This for bogey. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action. Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
We've got a big golf course in front of us today. Robert Trent Jones II designed this golf course really to fit in with these marvelous surroundings. But consequently, we have like what I would call almost an inland links. It's going to play like that. Ideally, you'd like to play this golf course through the air, but it's very exposed to the elements.
All right, Frank, how would you break down this approach shot here at the first at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's partially blind, so you've really got to fixate on the exact point that you want to aim at. That's one of the beauties of this golf course. So maybe even just have a little look and make sure you know that line, because once that ball hits the ground, the natural contours are going to take it in a certain direction. So really fixate on that line.
Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good.
It's no snack, though. Whoa, that was unexplainable. Thought that was easily going to be a par.
Now we'll have
Not having another shitty game. It's not a
today's
shitty game,
coverage
I said I'm
brought
not
to you
having
by
another-
just a spectacular setting here in the Pacific Northwest. We're at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. And Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
Well, it's almost like a nature walk out there. It's built amongst these wonderful sand dunes. As far as trees are concerned, there's only one really that comes into play. The rest are all in the distance, so you feel very much at one with the elements. It's kind of nice, actually, just going for a little stroll out there like that. Refreshing. Should be safely on deck.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Just a couple of feet. Par for McIlroy, but you're just waiting for that moment when he hits that accelerator and pulls away. Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, he pays a price for that.
Yeah, when you don't see the top of the ball in the rough, you know it's not sitting pretty. You'll need a bit of force to extract one out of there.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
And he's made the green.
Even par currently.
And so just getting started, even par so far. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners. Well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
That was like Usain Bolt, Frank, right through the tape.
Yeah, that first step, that was never going to stop.
Second shot, good look at the green. Needs this for par. That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. Frank, standing here on the 4th tee at Chambers Bay, you can see what this golf course is all about with those dunes on the left and all that sand down on the right. A lot of trouble here.
Yeah, first hole, Rich, really that bends to the right, but if anything, you want to keep the tee shot down the left side. It's going to give you a better angle to the green. And unlike the 2 previous holes, this fairway slopes to the other direction, to the right.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
Frank, you always talk about it. Don't compound the mistakes. Well, here we are, another shot from the rough.
And this one no easier than the one he's just hit.
Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker.
The lie pretty much dictated the result. Thick rough. Tough to get that all the way to the green.
Trying to muscle it out of there, but you had to be Schwarzenegger to get that one done. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That was just a lousy putt right there. No other way to say it. So just a formality here. So 2 over par for the round. Frank, it's kind of fun to swing away on an elevated tee like this, the 5th here at Chambers Bay.
It looks straight away. It certainly does. And under 500 yards, so it gives you a chance, plus that elevation. You should be able to knock one down there. The whole pinch is in, though, with those bunkers left and right. And there's just one bunker in the front of this green. And that, as you can guess, should be avoided.
Be careful. They call this hole free fall. Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Birdie try up next. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Good effort and good par putt. Getting set to hit the tee shot here at the 6th at Chambers Bay. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
There's a nice dune down that left side that sort of gives you a good line that you can work the ball off here. But remember, this is a links golf course, so you don't try and fight